Hello everyone, welcome back again to early access on the Manchester to Glossop and Hadfield line. Big thanks once again to DTG for allowing us to do this and providing us early access as part of the DTG Ambassador program. So one thing I wanted to do in this video is run one of the services with the Class 40 Whistlers. We're going to do that very shortly. But what I wanted to do first, something I didn't really go into in the first look, is just look at the services available for these other layered trains that we've got. So before we jump in, let's just have a look. The Class 158, which comes in from the Midland Main Line, there is just one service, Nottingham to Liverpool Lime Street. So this one actually comes from Bellevue to Manchester Piccadilly. That's a very short one. That's only 7 minutes long. Let's see what we've got for the Class 20, which comes in from the Tees Valley line. So we've got two services here, Manchester Piccadilly to York, and in reality you're actually going Piccadilly to Ashbury's. Then we've got the service in return, York to Manchester Piccadilly, so I'm going to assume again, well, this one is Guidebridge into Piccadilly. That one's 18 minutes, so there's a couple there for the Class 20. We won't look at the 40 yet. We'll do that one last. Let's look at the 37. This one's interesting. This is Crewe to Crewe. And there's 3 parts and a York to Rolls Hill Marple. So in this one, 18 minutes, we go Guidebridge to Glossop. Then we've got Glossop to Hadfield, right down at the bottom. Then from Hadfield, we go back up to Ashbury's again. And then the final service is Ashbury's to Hyde North. So that's quite good in the 37. I like that. Now, that's going to have to be top and tailed, isn't it? Once we get to Glossop, we're going to have to change ends. So it's going to be top and tailed, I'm going to assume, with the 37. We'll look at that at some point. Then we have also got the Jubilee. Let's have a look what we've got for the Jubilee. We've just got one service. Preston's in the game again, look. Preston to Derby, 14 minutes long. Again, this one is Ashbury's to Guidebridge, up and down passenger loop. And you'll have seen me drive the 66 in an earlier video today, but let's just have a look. I've got a choice of the 66s here, of course. Let's just pick South Eastern High Speed. There's lots and lots of services. That is the one that we did earlier, the 27-minute service, but there are lots and lots and lots of services on here to fill your boots with the 66, all varying lengths from a few minutes up to, you know, coming up to a half an hour. So plenty to do there. You won't get bored. But what we're here for today in this video right now is to look at the Whistler. So for this you need Northern Trans Pennine, but you will also need the heavy freight DLC, which sits on top of Northern Trans Pennine. That's where the 40, or the Whistler as it's known, is coming in from. And we got 3 services. So the first one, Manchester Piccadilly to Great Yarmouth. So this one is going from Manchester Piccadilly to Guidebridge, up and down passenger loop. That's the one that we're going to run. That's an early morning service. Then we've got Crewe to York, which is 18 minutes, and this is from Piccadilly to Hyde North. And finally, we've got the return journey of the one we're going to run, which is Great Yarmouth to Piccadilly, 26 minutes, Hyde North to Piccadilly. What a great run that would actually be. Manchester to Great Yarmouth. It's a great place, Great Yarmouth. Love it down there. Been on holiday down there once or twice when I was younger. So we're going to jump into this one because I do like the Class 40. It reminds me so much of the 37, which, you know, I know and love. So let's jump into the 40 and let's run it out of Piccadilly. So drive this special service from Piccadilly to Guidebridge, up and down passenger loop. Let's get everything set up. It's asking us to unlock the doors. The doors are on the left, I think. Here is the 40. Let's just take a look. And you can hear the engine. Has that whistle about it, hence its nickname, the Whistler. I think we'll just take a screenshot here. and we'll use that as a thumbnail. But let's get back inside, and we'll get everything set up. So the master key, where is the master key? There it is, hiding at the back. Let's do that. We'll put it into forwards, of course. Let's get all the lights where they need to be. Those are the horns. Okay, nothing else we need to do there. Let's do that. Then we want the instrument lights on, and we also want the markers on. So the way this works is we've got these markers on the front, and you can set a head code by lifting these up. So I'm just going to lift them all up. We're not going to set anything specific. You see the lights there, very weak lights. The right one isn't on, actually. Where is the right one? Top, centre. Is it that one? It's that one, isn't it? The sun visor's in the way. Look at that. Right, let me get out of there. I'll close the sun visor, and then I can get to that marker. That's interesting. I've not seen that before. Let's get the safety systems on, because of course we can't use these on NTP, but we can on the Glossop route. So those are all ready to go. Got to wait till 6:19, which is now. Let's get the doors closed. Hopefully everybody is on board. We'll open this one as well. Alright, we're ready to go. Let's get the brakes off, because that's going to take some time, just like the 37. And we'll have a listen to it starting up, or setting off I should say, from the outside. Then you can hear that famous whistle. Let's put some power in right now. So once again, good opportunity on this route for the layering. This is where all those previous DLCs that you've bought now are coming into their own, aren't they, as we get these new routes. Lots of layering, lots of opportunities to use that older DLC that you've got. The Northern Trans Pennine DLC is one of the best. It is in my eyes, it always has been. I'm a little bit biased, but the fact that we can now use some of these trains on different routes as well is perfect. I mean, I do wish that these services were a little bit longer, don't get me wrong, but I'll take it. Let's hop back inside. So we're just leaving Piccadilly. We've got 4.6 miles to Guide Bridge. So a lot of these services do go to Guide Bridge. And at Guide Bridge there is, of course, you know, if we had route extensions, we could in fact get over to Staley Bridge and Huddersfield via Guide Bridge as well. If the track was in, so we could actually meet up with the Northern Trans Pennine route, but we can't do that. Plus, Northern Trans Pennine is unfortunately a different era. But if you know, in future, if somebody was able to create that link, I personally wouldn't bother about the different eras. I know some would. Some are very purist, aren't they? Some players are very purist. And you might be one of them, and that's understandable, but wouldn't it be nice if we could link the two up and have a choice whether to go from Leeds into Victoria or Leeds into Piccadilly? That'd be good. We'll see. Lots and lots can happen, can't it, in TSW? Who would have thought we'd have had a guard mode? But we do in this DLC, just in one scenario, but we do. And that's a first start in the right direction for a lot of people that perhaps want multiplayer, because that gives us our second role that we can do now in TSW. So there we have a 323 just coming in outside. Let's just go and have a look at that. Coming back up from Glossop. As we approach Ardwick, someone asked me to take a look and see if we could see Manchester City's ground, which is in between Ardwick and Ashbury's over on the left hand side. So I'm just quickly going to go up and have a look. I can't see anything. There's Manchester. We've sort of looped around from Manchester, so I think we're kind of looking this direction, aren't we, for the football ground? Is that it? That can't be it, can it? Because I think we are sort of looping around to the right. The track is taking us around to the right, but I don't see Man City's ground there. So that might answer a few questions that have been coming in. Right, I'll speed up a bit. As I said, some of these are quite short services, but what if we could have the full services, you know, one day, if we have the whole UK network in TSW? It's possible, isn't it, after, what, 20 years? We could have quite a decent network. Let's have a quick look at first class. Who have we got? Anybody? There was definitely people getting on. Maybe they're all in second class. Plenty of first class on this. That's interesting. Where have all the passengers gone? It's empty. That's a shame. Because there was definitely people getting on. This is Ashbury's that we're just going through right now. And this is a lovely morning, isn't it? We've got the sun up high there, just coming out. We've got the Whistler blasting along. Not blasting along, but I mean this is a RailTour, isn't it? So we don't have to go really, really fast, but we will open it up slightly because I want you to listen to that engine. But also see the acceleration as well. So we're due in at 6:29. And once again, you know, if you've just got a very small block of time to run a quick service here and there, these ones are perfect. You can be in and out in, you know, 20 minutes and run one of these if you're short of time. So, you know, I've been playing, you know, I've put some videos on the channel, I've been playing it in early access, I've spent quite a few hours playing it right now. I'm going to hazard a guess that you guys are going to enjoy this DLC. There was some apprehension at the beginning, some concerns about the length of the route. But as always, you know, until you get your hands on it, it's difficult to properly comment how you're going to feel about it. I quite like this. I do quite like it. There's a good mix of services. There's plenty to do. If you own all the layers, the DLCs that provide the layers, you're in for a real treat. But just on its own, the amount of services for the 323 and just running up and down this line, you can treat it as if you're really performing a driver's shift on this route. So I think you're going to enjoy this one. I'm going to put my neck out. But as always, you know, you let me know down in the comments once you've got your hands on it, once you've played it. I want to know what you guys think. I think it's going to be popular. I think the price point is good as well. I think that will, of course, tempt many of you to jump in and get this. But hopefully, throughout this set of videos I've been doing, you know, you've got to see a pretty thorough look at the route from a player's perspective. I always play the game as a player, though I am associated with DTG. I'm playing this as a player and how I would react. I think that's very important. And I will show you exactly what I can see when I'm doing these videos. I think that will help you make a more informed choice. But I'm quite pleased that DTG have have allowed me to show this off 24 hours earlier as well, so we can get a proper look. And that's, you know, to me, that is DTG also showing some confidence that they're quite happy that this is a good product and this is a good route. And, you know, I'll agree with that. So far, so good. But you guys that are player base, you tell me once you get your hands on it. Let's have a chat about that. We'll come back again in a few days' time and we'll talk about it. Alright, so we are a mile from Guide Bridge. I'm going to start to put us down into cruise, get the throttle turned off. We'll just put the first application of brake in. I don't know about this ballast here under this bridge, but I'm going to say it, that's about the only thing. It's to do with the lighting, but that's the only thing I've found on this route that seems a bit strange. But again, it's not a showstopper. So very, very similar this, driving the 40 to the 37. The brakes operate in the same way. The cab actually looks very, very similar, doesn't it? Even the shape on the outside, even the body shape. You'd maybe think, were it not for the sound, that a 37 was coming towards you when you see this. But this is Guide Bridge coming up, so we will just take it nice and easy. We're not bad on time, are we? Look at that, 6:29 we're due in, 6:29 it is. We'll be a few seconds late, it'll probably 6:30 by the time we get there, but you know, driving the old girl in there. Everyone will expect, maybe, we're not going to be running on time. You could sit, just get mesmerised by the engine sound, honestly. So this is another short service I wanted to throw on the feed. I hope you guys have been enjoying this set of videos. If you've been with me the whole time, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And thanks for spending some time on the channel. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. That's all I ask of you. And also to subscribe. We've got plenty of TSW coming up and other simulators. So keep your eye on the channel. Once my PC is built, finally, we will have even more simulation on the channel. Here's Guide Bridge. Now you see there's plenty of people here waiting to get on. Hopefully this time for its onward journey we'll get passengers on this rail tour. There's one of the collectibles, the bee with the flowers. Let's take off the throttle completely. And we'll just come to a stop just before the light. There we go. Get the doors unlocked. Lovely screenshot that. At 6:32 we can close the doors. And we're just going to the up and down passenger loop, and that is us. So let's nip back into the cab. Let's actually put some throttle in, shall we? So you can see in all its glory one last time. Mustn't forget the horn, of course. So I think there, unless I'm mistaken, is where we can go off up to Steely Bridge, Huddersfield, etc, etc. You can see it's taking us off up to the left. So we should be doing 20 over this junction. And we're into the passenger loop very shortly, and that's the end of the service. Big track bed, isn't there, just in this area? You know, it makes you wonder just how wide this was at one time, back in the day. There's room for perhaps, you know, 2 to 3 extra sets of rails there. Let's just ease our way forward up to this red. We do have a 1.3 gradient here actually. It's quite uphill, isn't it? No problem for the class 40 though. So all in all on this route you get a nice mix of the modern and the old. And the older if you're running the Jubilee. Not run the steam services yet, but there's only so many hours we can do, and this is a bigger DLC than you would think with the amount there is to do. So take it at your own time, you know, enjoy it. Let me know what your favourite services are. Maybe you'll only run the 323. Maybe that's what you're there for. That is the main gist of the DLC after all. But yeah, you let me know down below, once you get your hands on it, what your favourite things to do are on the DLC. As we're overtaken by a very fast 323. And we'll just pull up here now, ready for this signal and our onward journey, which unfortunately we don't get to do. Lovely. On the money. So thanks again everybody for watching. Thanks for watching throughout the day and the various videos as well. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Please subscribe and join me on the next video. Until then, look after yourselves. Bye for now.